John.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. I need to start off today's show with this. I need to issue an apology. It was brought to my attention that I said something a little bit insensitive on the show yesterday, and I need to address it. I said that, I made a joke about how, there's a well-kept secret that there are actually idiots on the internet. To all you idiots, I apologize for my insensitive comments about idiocracy in general and the nation that you inhabit. So thrive, enjoy, and embrace your idiotness.
All right, guys. Hey, it's Chris and Jason. We're back here. This is Talking Through the Medias. And yesterday, I was able to shock Jason with some news because, well, as you know, Collider is no more. They shut it all down. So we're going to talk about it, guys. But before we get into that, man, hit the like button to support the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Share with as many people as you can. And let's just get right into it. I appreciate you guys for doing that. So, Jason, yesterday we were talking, called you like late last night, and I was like, dude.
I was wondering, like, who died?
I was like, yeah, because this stuff happens. I'm like Morgan for real. He was already going through his head. Morgan for what else? But did you even believe me when I told you that Collider shut down?
Honestly, I thought you was joking. I was like, come on now, man. Nah. I was like, are you joking? I just wait for you to say, nah, man. I just need you to come down.
John Campea's back on Collider.
Yeah, I thought something. But you know what? It was some kind of believability to it because I did see that Roka, he went and started his own YouTube channel. And I said, okay, so it might be some truth to this because
Makuga and all them, a lot of them already had their own side.
I didn't know
Terry
that.
Nimroff Makuga has like a late show kind of a setup in his house where he's got like the curtain and then in his intro looks like the Tonight Show. But he's had that for years. So I thought when you said Roka just started, I was surprised. I thought Roka Ben had it. But yeah, I shocked this guy with some news, man. He was. I said, dude, we're gonna talk about this tomorrow. I said, watch these videos because Schmo was talking about it. John Campea doesn't usually talk about.
He doesn't like to talk about other people's. Yeah.
But he spent 17 plus minutes talking about that, and because he had to, before he even began the show. So.
And he sounded kind of bitter because.
What he said was that he wasn't like. He was because it was something he created.
He created, yeah. He was upset that He
knew he was happy that at least it was living on. But then they just. Pull the plug on.
Yeah, so he had some emotional ties to all that stuff. And
I was I'll tell you before we started recording. I said, what you probably don't know is, and I'll see if I can find it. Everybody was sending their tweets out, right? And I was one of them. And everybody's got their opinions and stuff. But one of the first things that I tweeted out on the topic was, I said, with Collider closing up shop, should John Campea or Schmodown, SEN, take the title Movie Talk back? I put a vote up for it. And the final results, I got a few votes in. 54% said John should take it. 46% said SEN. I was kind of joking because John was there from day one. So I was like, so why would you even put Schmodown in there? Vote? Because I was kind of joking with that, but it was almost split down the middle. John only won by by a small margin by like 10 or 11 points or whatever. So it's crazy that y'all even made it that close. But a lot of y'all thought that Schmodown should take it back. But I was just joking about that. But then after that, 16 hours ago, he goes, so since you seem to just be throwing it in the closet to collect dust, and since I came up with it, can I have the name Movie Talk back to keep the legacy of it alive at Collider Video?
Hey, man, he be looking at your tweets, man. he be looking at your tweets.
Everybody responded to this. There was a lot of people were like, one person was like throwing more shade at Collider Video than a damn eclipse. And John responded to that and said, I don't see how it's throwing shade. I just thought it would be a fun idea. I mean, it would still technically be the John Campea show. And he said, and this is Movie Talk. That That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they're not using Movie Talk and if they're not using Jedi
Jedi
Council,
Council.
those two need to go
Go
back.
back to them. I agree.
The Weekly Hero is one thing, or what is it called? It's Collider Heroes.
A lot of heroes.
So it can be like the John Campea show, Hero, maybe just call it Heroes.
Yeah,
Or the
Campea
Weekly
Heroes.
Hero
Talk.
Hero Talk. There you go. And when it's TV Talk, I mean, I responded to that and I was like, why would you even have to even ask? I mean, it's not like AMC, like, not even John made up the phrase movie talk.
Mm-hmm.
When you talking about movies, you doing movie talk. That's an action. That's what you're doing.
But
a lot of channels have the words movie talk.
Yeah, but you did mention he might have signed off not to take it.
Mm-hmm. He probably signed like a non-compete
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. Like you can have your own channel because let's going down the timeline. So we were looking back at some old footage of when they first started, and then we kind of came up with some names from the original cast and some of the people that we thought was with Collider, but no, they actually started with John at AMC, like Dennis Zen, Ashley Mulver, Schnepp. I remember when Schnepp was being called in. I remember John saying, "I know a guy who might be able to." It was about Guardians of the Galaxy. I remember that. People were asking him questions because that movie was announced, and he was like, I know a guy who might know way more about this topic than I do. And I think that's what was one of them. Correct me if I'm wrong, John. I think that's what you said why you pulled Snip in. It was Guardians of the Galaxy was mostly the main reason. Mary Jetikin, who I did not know was Christian Harloff's wife. Why did I think Christian Harloff was married to his sister?
Oh.
I like me. He seemed like a dude that would be married to his sister.
He's a New Yorker.
I don't know why I get a brother vibe from Christian Harloff. No offense to Mary Jetikin, because I mean, but I thought he was. I don't know why I thought that, because I guess I think everybody. But Mary Jetikin, Amy Rose Eisenbach, who I felt was treated real bad by the fans, part of that trolling stuff.
She was a sweetheart,
and she knew her shit, and she left to go to produce and create I think or direct or write her own movie, which I think she finished that goal, but she never came back. Well, she came back as a guest one time, but that was a Collider, I think. And she's like, I'm out. Everybody showed her love though, but that was pretty good. So it was Amy Rose Eisenbach, Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, Erin Darling, and I still follow Erin Darling on Twitter. Clark Wolf.
Love Clark Wolf.
And now I already said it.
And then don't forget Roth Cornett. She was one of the first.
Roth Cornett, one the OG for AMC at that table when they were just in that closet and whatnot. And sometimes I think John said he would be filming from his house, and he would just have this one blue curtain. That's probably why I used the blue curtain, because he would have one blue and one red, or like a red and a black. And he had that set up in his house too. I remember some of those videos seeing that. But the question was, what was your first? When did you first get in touch with or discover John Campea or AMC or Collider on?
Well, I don't know if many people know, but I'm big time superhero fan, superhero movie fan, all that. And I was trying to look for any information I could find out about this Avenger movie coming out. Anything.
The first Avenger.
First Avenger movie. And I'm just Googling, and boom, YouTube comes up, AMC movie talk. So I got on there and got hooked. Yeah, I was hooked instantly. And but when I got into it,
who do you remember being on there? Was it Roth Cornett?
I remember Roth Cornett, Campea, and I remember Snap, and I want to say I remember Mark Ellis being on it.
But Mark Ellis came after they already had the table.
Yeah, that's when I came in when they started having.
When they already had the table, and they already had the sidebar on it. I remember I was there. That's a smidge before that when they were going into that, when it was just mostly just kind of like how we're sitting right now. Okay. Like it was like that setup.
And then I remember they had a setup where they was sitting like at director chairs too. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yeah, because whenever they would watch a movie together and stuff, like sometimes they would have those director's chairs outside of the theater. I'm sure that was because that was definitely the AMC days, because they probably just had those in the theater, sitting back at that. Yeah, that was around the time when I got in there too, and and when the table started to expand, and then you started seeing people like Aaron Darling and then Ashley Mobley, when they started to find their voice was where, like, when they said, okay, this is our host. I feel like when Ashley Mobile became the host, that's when I feel like it started really catching fire. She had the shoulder shake things, and she had people started seeing like little catchphrases and niches, not just from the Campea with the way he introduced it and the way he ended the show, but then when Ashley Mobile started having other catchphrases. And then when Schnepp and Christian Harloff started getting into it with the shipwrecks and stuff, like doing on that. That shit was just hilarious, and I feel like, dude, it's getting big.
Honestly, that's the opening of me seeing that. Oh, YouTube is big. Like it's a lot of YouTubers. I really wasn't watching YouTube like that until then. And I found out, man, it's a world of YouTube.
It was just something that people did. Like some people on YouTube did. Now I kind of wish I started YouTubing before, but I was overseas though, so I couldn't do it. But I kind of wish I was doing it back early because it seems like the original YouTubers that was there before Google bought it, all those have at least 1 million subscribers because they were from day one. But I remember when he first left. I enjoyed listening to John Campea at first, but when he first left, I was totally loyal to AMC, I stuck with AMC.
Me too.
And I gave John, I ain't gonna lie, I gave John Campea's channel a chance at first, but it wasn't. So I was like, nah, son, I couldn't. He didn't have his voice then.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, and I'm sure he'll admit it too, but. Did you even try to watch that?
No, I didn't even get. I'm sorry to say, I didn't even give him a chance.
I gave him a chance, and I gave him like 2 days. I was like, nah. And I'm sure that's because he still had like a small following on his channels. It was just a couple thousand, and he was trying to grow. And it was growing. I mean, he took a lot of people with him. A lot of people stuck by him, but I wasn't one of them.
At that time, he was one of my least favorites on the show.
He was my most favorite.
Okay,
besides the girls. I mean, I love Ashley and I love Amy Rose and all that. But
I'm a sweaty, so I like the Schnepp.
I like Schnepp.
I like the Christian.
That was one of the reasons why I couldn't break away from AMC because Schnepp was still. Because I like Schnepp. So I stuck around for Schnepp. But it was just something about the way he did that channel, man. It just didn't grab anybody. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons why he came back.
He came back for some strange reason. I was like, I was happy. I was like, oh, he's back. He got the group back together.
And then when then the group got back together, and then it grew. When Christian joined, and I know he wasn't technically a part of the original first 5 or 6, like what's considered, like when I consider the original crew, I know that what's her name, Roth Cornett, is that it was one of the originals, but when I say the original, I consider Amy Rose Eisenbach, Schnepp, like at the very tail end of it, Schnepp, Dennis Zinn, and Ashley Mova, and John Campea. I consider pretty much that. And I know I'm missing some people, and like Aaron Darling and people like that, Mary Dedican and stuff. I consider them like the original, because that was the original like panel. When it was like, you know how like, what does John always say that he was trying to make movie talk look like ESPN? Like how you got, not Michael Jordan, but what's the basketball player? Shaq. Like you got Shaq and all that. Like all these people, these legends and stuff,
Kenny
like talking.
Smith,
it feels like that, like at a long table. Like that to me when AMC was like, I love this show, and it was like the only thing I watched on YouTube for a while. I used to.
They were the only things I would go watch on YouTube
for my movie news. That's the only thing I watched. And then that thing that happened with. Whatever happened with AMC and John again, like this direction that they wanted to go in, and something was happening behind the scenes, and he was like, if this is what y'all gonna do, I'm out. He never really shed that much light on it.
He spoke about it was the HR, something
with HR, like the bottom feeding, like he is not, dude. It's like, what happened? Like people speculate. Now let's just get into it. People speculated that John did something, where Aaron Darling. It was people thought maybe something happened between him. Maybe they got into a fight. Maybe something. Now I'm not gonna get into speculations on like an affair or anything like that. But what people really thought was like a fight happened, like I'm firing you because I just whatever. And people were really trying to like gaslight it. Like, you remember seeing like any of those comments?
Oh yeah, but what I'm thinking is a possibility on his own show. He says that he didn't like doing celebrity interviews, but we kind of looked back on some of the
AMC did a
videos.
lot.
They did a lot of
I
celebrity,
didn't even
and
know.
she looked like she enjoyed doing
A lot
that.
of them. But you're doing it because the power that be AMC was telling
Telling
you
them
to
to do
do
it.
it. So I mean, but from what I understood, John was in charge of that.
Up running it, yeah.
And I'm sure that's the direction that they wanted. But John had veto power and stuff like that. The things that I heard was that like people wanted this or wanted that. John was clashing with them, and then it was something with.
He was the last. Hey, say so. So you know.
He won't talk about it. Usually John is very professional.
He's very
Like
professional.
even when people are trying to gas him up to talk trash about Collider, he
won't
won't do
do
it. He won't do it. The only people
Or anybody for that matter.
Chris Brown. bring up Chris Brown.
I gotta see because
He's even said it again recently, like because of what because he's old school. Like if you hit a woman, that's it.
That's
You're
understandable.
the bottom of the barrel. Weird though that all that went down. John left, and he left again. And no, he was announcing that we didn't leave. The second time he didn't leave, he was like, "We're about to leave. Some things are happening." Remember, they were being like all secretive about it, like what's about to happen, what's about to happen. And then it just popped in. I don't know if he announced it on Twitter or something, but it went live on a channel I never even heard of before. I never even heard of Collider before. So I wasn't following them and stuff. And then all of a sudden there was like movie talk with Collider and stuff, and they were like, the AMC agreed to let us keep the studio that they built, the new studio that they built. And they agreed, and Collider agreed to bring in everybody. They brought in Schnepp, they brought the whole roster because they were talking about building.
Yeah, and then that's when Christian, Mark Ellis,
they were already there.
Denizen, they was the mainstays now.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they felt like it was springing up to the big leagues because Collider under this was a Complex magazine. They had big ideas and big plans, and whatever they talked about then obviously worked for John back then. But then after a while, so now let's move a little bit further into the future. Then John leaves again from Collider this time. He gives a 2-week notice.
Yeah, and then see, in the beginning, I was like, here we go again.
He'll be back.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not gonna even worry about him. I'm gonna keep watching Collider.
He'll be back. He needs Collider.
After maybe I want to say a month of watching Collider, my interest in Collider went down, all the way down, and I said, let me go and see what Campea is.
I don't know what it was about the second time, but I felt like John raised this game up to a level that I was like, I didn't follow. I didn't like what I saw the first time, and it was still the same house. I mean, he still had the same chair, the same microphone, most of the same stuff, but his he even took his opening catchphrase. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show right here. But he didn't say with Collide. He said with John Campea. And his energy and his sweat. It's like for some reason he
was more comfortable.
Exactly.
More comfortable.
It's like, and he knew it. I'm sure he was scared. I'm sure it was like, damn, what if it happens again? I have to come back. Because he tried to go with like Film HQ and he merged with all these other, and they built the studio for him, but then he was like, it's not working. He kept the new jingle and the new intro, but he stayed and did it from his house. But something was different this time. I think his fans, his core fans, were more with him now. The way he delivered was different. The energy was different.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing. I was still like right there. I was iffy with him in the beginning.
50-50 with Collider. Well, actually, I was probably more Collider, but
I was
sticking it out though.
I was still iffy, but what pushed me over the edge is when Robert Meyer Burnett came on, and I love Robert Meyer Burnett because he was good friends with Schnepp, and they used to have the Hero Talk on Collider with John Campea. It was them three.
Those three together were good.
Were good. Yeah. And when I saw him come on and he was a regular co-host with him, I said I'm all the way in because I like their views on different things.
I'll tell you what would have been the nail in the coffin for me in Collider. If it would have been Schnepp first, because they kept Schnepp for Hero, and that was good.
That was good. Yeah.
If Schnepp would have left and went and bent and did what Robert Meyer Burnett did, and was I probably would have never came back to Collider. Collider would have lost me a long time. The only thing that might have kept me hanging on was the fact that I love Mark Ellis and I love Christian. I love them two together. And that was keeping, and I still love Ashley Mobley and them like that.
I was getting my fix from them from Schmo Knows.
I subscribed to Schmoes, but I never was like a Schmo subscriber, and now I am because I love the tournaments. But I wasn't one of the original. I wasn't watching that channel before John Campea introduced me to them. And then after, I was like, I like these guys, but their channel is like, it's just not for me. It seems like what I can get from them, I can get from AMC or from Collider. So I just stuck with Collider.
It's very funny. The YouTube world is very close-knit because the time that I was watching AMC Movie Talk, I don't think Mark Ellis or Christian was with them in the beginning. But I was
Christian was there for a while, and then he convinced, he said, hey, bring my Mark.
Now, before they was on, I was watching Small Nose simultaneously as I was watching Movie Talk.
See how it was.
And all of a sudden, I start seeing these guys coming on Movie Talk. And
you're like, I know these guys. Yeah. I didn't know them, and I didn't know if I could trust them. I don't know who the fuck these guys think they are. But then Mark started going off. I was like, I love this dude. I love the energy was there, and Schnepp had it and whatnot. But I swear to you. I wish what happened with Schnepp didn't happen, but could you imagine if Schnepp would have been that guy who, and if he was still with us today, he would have been that guy.
I can almost guarantee you he would have went with.
Well, especially today because they shut down eventually.
Yeah.
But who knows what would happen? I mean, it was. I think part of it why Collider decided to close up shop is a bunch of reasons. Like John Campea gave his reasons, obviously because they said that even. All right, before I get into that, did you notice what happened with the subscriber numbers after John left and came back? So nothing really happened with his channel at first when he first left. Then when he came back, AMC started to come up. Then when AMC and Collider and whatever, they started having their problems again, and he left again. John was already knocking on the door for his first 100,000 subscribers. He was like somewhere between 60 to 100,000 when he decided to jump ship, if I remember correctly. Collider was already over their 100,000 and knocking on the door for 2. Like 150 or something like that. And then when Collider started, they powered forward, and then it was on. When they hit the first 200,000 subscribers and they started expanding and stuff like that, I noticed that John's rise was happening, but every time John hit a milestone, they pretty much was already doubled and tripled. Today, they're over 600,000 subscribers. I looked back at AMC and I was surprised. They were at the 200 something subscriber mark when they switched from AMC to Collider. And they're at what, 4 or 6 or 4 is it 4 or 6?
What's John Campea at?
John just knocked out 200,000.
200,000.
But he's doing that on his own, all by himself. And
you know what probably irked him? Campea just celebrated his 100 million views. He had a big party.
They did that at AMC. And Collider, they've already had that at Collider and whatnot.
But for him by himself to do that, and they looking at their views not being that high, that probably was like, what is we doing?
That was part of the rise and fall. Now you're not a wrestling guy. Now the one thing that I thought that it really mirrored, it reminded me of for all you wrestling fans out there, it reminded me of the Monday Night Wars between WCW and WWF when Vince McMahon was the man by himself with WWE and nobody could rival him, and then Ted Turner created WCW, and it was like, we're about to take your empire away. And what happened? This is why I brought that up, because here's something that Vince McMahon and the WWF said is one of the main reasons why WCW lost. Because for a while, now I never jumped ship. I was always WWE, by the way, the whole time. But while it was going on, people were saying that WCW was cooler, the NWO, Hogan and them, they were cooler. I mean, the WWE had Stone Cold and DX and all that stuff. They were, but here's something that I heard that the documentary that they said this is the real reason why WCW lost. They were just focused. WCW was focused on making the show big and the shows good and the teams and all that. Vince McMahon was a genius at not just making the show great or a team great. He was able to make the individual superstar. He was focusing on making superstars. He had, by themselves, The Rock was just as popular as NWO, the group NWO, the cool big group of the New World Order on the other side. Stone Cold, by himself, was just as big. Undertaker, by himself. All these people by themselves. So, and then now they got all these individual superstars, and they're all together. By definition, they're by themselves. They're bringing in all these views. They're getting all this fan base, and then when they all come together, it's just as big. That to me is what I felt like John Campea and like Schmodown and whatnot. They have they had their core group, their small groups of people, and they kept it focused. And they focused and they just worked on themselves and making sure that their stuff was the best that it could be. Now, Collider, I felt, did the same thing. They were trying to make good shows, but they were just spreading themselves thin. They were getting the subscribers, but for some reason, those subscribers weren't like sticking around because like half of those subscribers would be like, "Oh, I like McCool." The other people would be like, "Oh, I like this guy." And then when they got their own shows. It just doesn't. It makes more sense in the wrestling world, but it kind of to me kind of feels like what happened to Collider because with John by himself, he was able to just generate that much. With just only having 100,000 subscribers, but those 100,000 subscribers were like loyal. Where people like me and you, we were subscribed, but my attention was
wavered
and stuff. I didn't catch every episode, and I stopped watching. Now, John Campea show, I started watching every day.
Episode.
Collider, like I missed a week, and I caught up here and there, and I felt like I thought I was the only one because I was like, maybe I'm the only one, maybe it's just me because their subscribers kept tripling and doubling. They're like at 600, but now you got 600 something odd subscribers, and they're all doing probably what me and you were doing. And so you might as well just have 50,000 subscribers because if they just subscribe and then they never come back, if they don't come back every day, that's what the problem is. John Campea created something that makes his people want to come back every day, and I think it's mostly to do with that question, that interaction with them. I'm surprised Collider didn't do that in the beginning. I think they started doing it. They took questions. They did mailbag. They got AMC Mailbag and took that from John too. I think he needs to take that name back too.
Mailbag.
But they didn't do it with. It's something about the financial support.
And it's a very smart thing because with those questions, that basically runs his show.
Yeah.
Half of his show is
he gets to pay the girl, the Aaron and what's her name, Chris. Who comes through and Robert,
yeah,
and it's just those four people. It's him and then the people and the guy. Oh, and what's his name running behind the scenes and all that.
Doing the text and all that.
A couple, one show pays probably one person for the whole week or the whole month, whatever the deal is. Right?
And then he's gotten real smart with it. He's gone outside of
the super chat.
The super chat and YouTube where
and it's connected to. I thought that was going to be a conflict, but it actually it's connected. So even if you pay through super chat or pay through that website, it still pops up on the same timeline. It don't matter. It's linked. I was like, dang. And so now and it's up 24 hours now. And I'm like, dude, how is it that Collider and AMC they these big ass companies and they didn't think of this shit?
He's got the business mind for that.
He just stayed focused. Yeah. He knew, he saw what it was. He saw, I think this would work, and he would incorporate it. And he said on his channel, he warned them. He's like, he said, before I left, I said, please don't do this. You don't think we should do that? And they were like, no, we want to go like what we talked about yesterday, the deep fake stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even gonna lie. For me, John was right about that. Now maybe that 400, 600,000 subscribers that subscribe to Collider, maybe a lot of them like that shit. But I feel like those are the type of fans who are also the type of fans that are like reason why talking about Star Wars has gotten so toxic and stuff. I don't have time to be looking at a fake. Why would I give a damn what a dude pretending to be George Lucas got to say
It's
about
funny though.
It might be funny, but I'm not gonna. I just don't. I'm like, if it's a skit, it's a skit. But if you're trying to experiment with skits now, it ain't Collider Movie Talk. It ain't AMC Movie Talk. When they would do their side stuff, it would still be like Movie Talk. Remember how John came up with that game where they would have like Schnepp was a judge, and then they would have two people trying to defend like a movie or something, and like they had a judge game. Like they would create games.
That's the show that I was trying to think.
It wasn't up. I remember they had the up and down. They had this game on AMC where John Schnepp was like a judge, and then two people would have to defend their position. It was like a debate.
I think you're thinking of a whole nother YouTube channel.
No,
sure?
No, because I wasn't watching any other movie channel.
Because that sounds just like the one I was telling you about where the guy got in trouble with that girl.
Maybe they stole the idea from them.
It could possibly
because it was. I'm gonna look it up right now. It's AMC Movie Talk, and it was a debate show or something like that. Let me see, because I know Schnepp was a part of it. Oh, I forgot that Jeremy Johns was. That was at the Collider when they.
That was like near the end. He came
in towards the end.
Yeah.
Why did Jeremy Johns only stay for like a year and he just bounced? He's like, I guess I don't.
I don't think he really fit with them.
I thought he did, but
his style is that fast paced quick cut style, and I don't think that really fit with.
Like guys, like you know what I'm talking about. I remember with John Schnepp, he was like a judge. They only did like 2 or 3 episodes of it, and it was like a debate. Like you would have to debate your position, of a topic or something that was going on, and John Schnepp was like the judge. AMC movie. I'm gonna just put debate. AMC.
Because the reason why I was thinking that other show, because Dan Murrow was always on that show.
Mm-hmm. Debate movies with friends. Is this it? AMC movie? Nah, this is talking. Oh my God, this is gonna kill me. I'm telling you, it was because I wasn't watching any of the other ones. I wasn't subscribed to any of them. And I remember.
Now they might have been part that group.
They might have got the group.
AMC.
It was on AMC. It was Amy Marie, and I think it was Amy Marie and John Schnepp were debating something, and Schnepp had to be the judge on it and give his final. And it didn't last long because it wasn't that entertaining. But I remember it on there. Maybe they got the idea from somebody else, but then, so moving forward to when Collider sent Perry Nimrod, my Collider crush, to just tweet out to everybody, oh, hey guys, by the way, on January the 2nd, we ain't doing Movie Talk, we ain't doing Collider Live, everything's canceled, and I don't know, like she was in charge, right? They put Perry Nimrod in charge of AMC Movie Talk. of Collider Movie Talk, which to me, I know Perry came in. Perry was never a part of the AMC crowd.
No,
I think she came in at the very beginning of Collider when we switched over to Collider. But when she joined, I didn't know how to take her at first. But when she joined, I felt like she was a perfect fit, and that she felt to me like she was a part of that original AMC crowd. I don't think she ever was. But to me, she was. Yeah. Perry Nimrod, AMC. Yeah, Perry Nimrod. Yeah, I think she was. I'm remembering that right?
No, Collider.
Wow, was she only? Perry never was with AMC. So, okay. But to me, she felt like she would have fit in perfect with them. She felt like to me she was the most deserving to take over after everybody left, because she was putting in the work that what Christian and all them was doing, and that was a perfect fit. Now, when Collider
And
Live,
she does a lot of background
all
stuff,
that she was
directing
already
and
doing that stuff in the background,
writing and all that
so
stuff.
she deserved it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Christian Harloff left and went back to only doing Schmodown, they decided to disassociate Schmodown from Collider again.
Mm-hmm.
They gave it to Roxy, who you don't like any other lady. Now, I wasn't following Collider Live as much because I didn't realize that Collider had started creating all these other damn channels. They did Collider Podcast, Collider Live, Collider,
and that
Collider
I
Funeral
couldn't
Home,
stand that
Collider Burgers, Collider. They did every damn thing. Collider this, but I wasn't. I didn't even know I was watching something different. I'm like, what is this? Why are they doing this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why? I was like, why are they spreading themselves thin? I'm not subscribing to all these things. I like Collider, but I'm a movie guy.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe and that was one of the things that John was talking about. Like you're following trends.
Mm-hmm. And then I'm thinking a lot of times you have so many chiefs. I'm thinking,
Who the hell's in charge? Yeah,
exactly. You have
Frost, I guess.
I don't know, but you have so many people say, "I want my own show. I want my own show." Well, okay, I feel like I should be head of movie talk.
Yeah.
Or I should be head. So to please everybody, we give you your own show. We give you your own show. We give you your own show, and you're everywhere. Yeah.
I think it started getting weird after Schnepp died.
Yes.
But before Schnepp died,
that's very.
That's what I think that just sent a shockwave to everybody.
It did.
Because and then when
he was the heart. He was the heart.
He was the heart of the whole thing.
The whole
and
thing.
then when John Campea proved that you can make some money off it, be self-sustaining, I'm sure that was when Christian was like, I mean, we have more subscribers, and our Schmodown people are just as rabid and just as hardcore loyal as John's is. And if I don't get out now, I might miss something.
And then that big incident with him and the producer that happened. And so many people messaging Christian, telling him, "Man, you're big enough to go on your own. Look at Campea, look at all these other YouTubers. You're big enough to be self-sustaining on your own." And he's showing it. He's proving it. And I mean, bro, you had
Schmodown should have been that formula. The formula that John Campea has right now with finances and how it's being paid for. How was Schmodown even able to keep their lights on? How were they paying for all that? Because I'm sure they were getting monetization money and stuff like that here and there. But they had the game and the Collider brought it in. It was like, dude, we can make money off of this. If they were doing it the way John Campea is doing it now, and the way they're now doing it, if they were doing it then, they would have been cleaned up. But John did it. Obviously, John didn't create it. He ain't the first to do it. But to the level that he's doing it, I'm sure it opened a lot of people's eyes. But I feel like when Schnepp died, things changed. Me and you talked about something extensively real quick before we ended off. That I would be mad at myself if I don't bring it up. Collider TV. All those one of the other things that Collider did. And this was under John Campea's watch when they were doing when he was first being forced, I guess, to splinter off and do all these different things, these after shows. And one show we talked about in particular was Collider Empire After Show. Now, John later the other day said that one of the things that he criticized them about was splintering off and doing all this stuff. He said back then we should just be focused on movie talk and just because even today John says we talk about movies, sometimes we talk about TV, and sometimes we talk about other things too. So mostly movies, but sometimes he does talk about TV. Even today he does that. Back then, I love John Campea, and I had his back, and I still have his back. But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have his back when he canceled that Empire thing. I could see why, because the excuse that he gave on why he canceled all that other stuff, he was right. The ratings, the numbers weren't there. It was maybe getting 1,000 views, less than 1,000 views and stuff. It was like we're way above this level. But the Empire one was not. The Empire one was getting those views. And he can't, but I think he didn't like. You talked about it last night. He said I don't think he just didn't like the after shows anyway. The only after show he liked was Arrow because that was his favorite show. He was willing to do that. But to be fair, he did that on his own channel on his own time. But when he canceled Empire, now I wasn't a huge Empire fan then. But I was like, no, I'm sorry, John. You lying. You lying. You lying. Because that excuse you gave on why you canceled all those other after shows did not fit with Empire. Because Empire had a huge fan base. And I felt like maybe you don't like Empire, you probably don't watch the show. But when you said you canceled all that stuff because of the numbers, I was like, you lying. Because I looked, I was like, Empire one was crushing. So when John says that he wanted to only make Collider this one thing, he meant that. And I'm sure that was when the Frost and the Collider people were like, I want to follow these trends and I want to do this and I want to do that. And John keep clashing, and then that's probably when they decided, you know what, we're gonna do this stuff without you. I mean, now they got Collider Radio, Collider Podcast, and all that stuff. The Witching Hour, all these things, and they weren't getting the views because everybody was splintered off. Me and you weren't watching it to the level.
No.
And
I'm honestly, the nail in the coffin, they was dead to me after Christian left. After Christian left, because I would every now and then really take a little. And I wouldn't even watch the whole Collider Live thing.
I couldn't watch them all.
Yeah, I'll watch it a little bit.
Now, to be fair, it might have worked. I mean, they could have, if Collider, and that's probably why they made different channels for it. But didn't AMC prove that didn't work? Because remember, Amy Rose Eisenbach had that AMC Indie page. They created a whole separate AMC Movie Talk channel for independent films, and nobody supported it. And they canceled it right away. So AMC proved that this don't work.
And don't learn from their mistakes.
And they did. They said no. They were like, we're gonna follow the trends. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go there, and they spread themselves thin. Meanwhile, your individual superstars are like, I can do this stuff on my own. Schnepp passes away. John's already gone. Jeremy Johns was probably part of the reason why Collider's subscriber base went up real fast, because he came in the door with 1 million subscribers and helped them boost up. He left, and now all these people are out doing their own individual thing.
Mark Ellis was head of Movie Talk for a little hot little second,
and then he started to focus on his comedy again.
Yeah, and then he left.
Then my interest went down again. Like I said, WWE, Vince McMahon knew how to create superstars and focus on these individual people, and when they went off and focused on their own thing. Obviously, the price to pay these people to come on Collider, that probably wasn't going down. So your shows are spreading thin. They're not bringing in any revenue. You're not using super chats. So what's going on? If Mailbag would have used super chats, I'm pretty sure it would have paid for at least half of that stuff. 600,000 subscribers. You don't think maybe 100,000 of them or 200,000 of them would have chipped in $2, $5,
and ask questions,
to get their questions answered all day, every day, dude. I'm like, why didn't they do that? They were probably getting advertisers. The advertisers were probably pulling because they were seeing that the number, like, how you got 600,000 subscribers, but you only but this video is only getting like 50,000 views. You still getting 50,000 views, and you was doing that with 200,000 subscribers. The monetization ain't paying for it, and I'm sure the advertisers they weren't chipping in. I don't know why they didn't. What about you? So now that it's gone, what do you think moving forward?
I'm kind of glad.
I'm kind of glad too.
I'm kind of glad because
I feel like they were doing too much.
It was like, hey man, y'all gotta step your game up. After Campea left, you got to step your game up, and I'm telling you, they was not stepping their game up. It was a lot of bickering, a lot of arguing amongst the cast. It was just
too much room for speculation from the fans. We were like, what the fuck is going on? And y'all not answering, so all right, we're just going to leave us. It was professional to do it that way, but you're just going to leave. If you don't tell me what's going on, I'm going to be like, well, maybe it is happening. Maybe it is. And I'm going to tell my friends, maybe it isn't. I feel like maybe there's like 5 key moments that led to the death. And I'm going to make this probably its own separate video that led to the death of Collider. John Campea being wishy-washy, coming back and forth. And then he finally left. Ashley Mova and them getting rid of the
they
girls.
Yeah, they left off.
That
I
was
don't think
Collider's decision. I remember that episode.
To let them go,
because it all happened. It all like Ashley Mova and them.
Because I remember
Mark Ellis. Mark Ellis was Mark Ellis and Sinead DeFree and Ashley Mova. They had a cute little back and forth going. It was after Mark Ellis was first made the temporary head for a while. And then a little bit after that, Ashley Mova was gone. And it was like, and I remember Mark Ellis on camera saying, Collider has decided that the role, because he plays pretty much a host, and we also have a host, and it didn't make financial sense to do, have two people that pretty much could do the same job. So if you're the host, you're the host. But that wasn't really the job of Ashley Mova. Mova she was called a host, but her job was to keep it flowing. Like. Okay, what's the next? Like John be like, all right, Ashley, what's the next question? And like, and Ashley Mova was the best one. I love them all what they did individually, but Ashley Mova was the best host they ever had.
I agree.
So I felt when they decided not that Sinead DeFree and her were like right there.
And Campea is still trying to look for that magic and finding that host. He couldn't.
The first couple. Now he seems to love a girl named Ashley. Now he got that girl, that black girl. I feel like the fans didn't give her a chance. They treated that I forgot her name. That's fucked up. I forgot that sister's name. But the fans treated her on his show like they treated Amy Rose Eisenberg, and he ran her off. Then he got Ashley, but her energy matched his. So I get it. I could tell that, but I feel like that black girl could have stepped it up. But maybe John didn't have that time.
He didn't.
So he got Ashley in, and I was like, damn, this girl just as good as Ashley Mova and Sinead DeFree.
Yeah, she was good.
But Mark Ellis made that announcement. He said that it was a financial decision. It was because it felt like both
were saving money for.
But John kept that element in his show. Because he knew it worked. I think it helps him keep it. Like, could you imagine if we had somebody right here going, all right, guys, move the fucking along.
And read and stuff for us.
It helps.
Yeah.
So, you notice that was one of the things that Collider decided not to do anymore. But John stayed doing it. And
it's working.
Look what happened. John also claimed that he hit his milestones faster than he hit them with...
which he probably did.
Maybe. But, I mean, they hit... 600. I mean, after you left, John, they went from 200 and then immediately went to 4 to 5. I didn't even know they were at 6, and I just double checked. They had 600,000 subscribers.
But I'm gonna tell you,
those are empty bots, maybe from Russia. But
no, I'm gonna tell you why it started rising so fast. You gotta think about the movies that came out during that time. You started having
Star Wars stuff,
Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War, all that stuff. And what people's going to want to go, where do I go to get my movie fix about these movies?
Collider was already up there in there, and the number they were already ahead with those numbers. But if people were splintered up, so okay, John even going back and forth. Chris, I feel like when Ashley Mova when they got rid of the hostess, the host thing, position. They got rid of the host position. They got rid of that because even Makuba did it for a little while. When Schnepp died, that was another one. And when Collider decided to splinter off and do all these, this extra stuff and whatnot, and
then Mark Ellis went back and started doing his own comedian thing and. He left, and then when the Schmoes pulled the Schmo down away from when they brought the Schmoes in, but then they still kept them as two separate channels. I think those were there's probably way more, but to me those are that I can commit from memory. Those are 5 key elements that put the nail in the coffin.
Because those are the Infinity Stones that caused the snap to happen to Collider. To me, those are like the 5 things. John Campea, Schnepp, getting rid of the hostess, spreading yourself too thin with all those damn channels, and then losing Schmodown. That was it. And then look what happened. Now you got Perry and my level 7 Collider crush is looking crazy, talking about, well, guys, it was fun while it lasted, but they just told me 5 minutes ago that I was fired. They all.
This happened
On the
Twitter?
spot, on the
Twitter?
spot. It felt like if that she made the announcement like on Twitter and on her channel and whatnot.
Wow.
It felt like the way it seems like it happened was it's like they told her probably like on January 1st, and then it was like prepare to you ain't gonna do a show on Monday. You just this is what I need you to say. It kind of felt like it was forced, because it was like out of nowhere. It wasn't because everybody was like, wait, where's the live thing at?
Nothing.
And there was nothing there, and then boom, a tweet came out.
Mm.
And then I was like, and I noticed, I was like, wait, what the hell? Why is Roxy? But when I first noticed it, I saw that it read Roxy and Mark Riley. That's what I saw, because usually I look at my phone and I'm like, I'm trying to see what John Campea is going to be talking about, and I see what Schmoedowns they're talking about. And I look at the thumbnail. And when I saw Roxy on it, I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I look and I watched it, and I'm like, did they quit? And they're like, no, they shut it down. And then I saw the tweet, and then I was like,
but what's good? They just gonna go over there.
they just went right on, and they were pretty happy. She was like, hey, it's closer. It's a shorter drive. She was like she's like 10 minutes away, right down the street. She lives right next to him. But that's good for them, man. Yeah. I wish them luck, but. All right, that's our thoughts on like what's going on with the live. I'm gonna miss it. I love the AMC movie talk. I love
it's history.
I like what they did, but to me, I feel like they did a good job in making these individual superstars. So I feel like
they did.
Some of them might struggle. Some of them might take a while. Hey, if any of y'all want to come on our channel over here, come talk with us. We'll collab with you. Mm-hmm. John, we know you need some help, so we're here to help you. But all of those guys, I feel like are gonna be fine because they're family.
They're family. Yeah,
they'll
be all right.
They'll have each other's back.
And I wish them the best. All of them.
I do too. And,
even the ones I don't like.
And I wish Collider the best too. The people who are staying there too. But I'm gonna say it right now. Give Movie Talk, Jedi Council, and because Jedi Council can be shared between John and Schmoedown.
Of course,
that could be a shared thing. They feel like they created that together. That could be a thing that they both use, like light side, dark side.
And yeah,
give that back. Movie Talk. And Heroes and Jedi Council and was there another one?
Movie Talk, Jedi Council, TV Talk.
TV Talk should probably come back. John, you talk about TV. So just whenever you just talk about just that logo, whatever the thing is, let John Campea use that Movie Talk logo that y'all had.
Or if you don't want it, John, the Schmoedown Entertainment Network will take it.
Yeah, one of the two.
Because they like talking TV.
At least I can see the Jedi thing being shared
between them two
and whatnot.
Because Christian comes on to do the light side, dark side.
I can see Robert Meyer Burnett being the new guy for. I can see Robert Meyer Burnett. And who did they have to do in Heroes? The lady who built the glass.
Amy Allen.
But yeah, her and Robert Meyer Burnett ever sat together.
I
feel like they could do something. But John already said that no, this is not. All these people ain't gonna start flooding into the John Campea show. It's not built like that.
I'm not taking
leftovers. He said, Perry, all of y'all not coming. Sorry.
He said
no. That would be funny. That would be funny as hell. He's like, sorry,
I didn't catch that.
Sorry, baby bangs. No, I love Perry. Perry, come over here. My fiance already know that I'm not allowed to talk to you because she already know how I feel. But I feel like if anybody, the Schmoedown people, because they already used to, because they said they're still gonna all do tournaments.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna see those guys again anyway. All of them are Makuga, all of them. So keep your eyes out for Schmoes. That's where you'll see them again before anywhere else. And then maybe how John Campea says. Yes, maybe. You might see some people pop up here and there on the John Campea show. Maybe one day to do movie talk. But all right, that's our 2 cents, whatever is worth. But remember, guys, thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you guys think about the rise, the fall of who else is out there talking about it. I haven't watched any other channels besides those two about what's going on. I'm curious to see what Perry's talking about. What old dude we was talking about with popcorn. What's his Popcorn Planet.
Popcorn Planet.
Dude, that dude's a damn opportunist. The second that happened, he went live. He probably
Hey, I'm gonna see what he's talking about because
he went on for an hour and 30 minutes, just like we did. But damn, that dude is already all over it. So I hope he's not. Don't be cheering for it because these people probably lost some money because of this. So let's hope they all land on their feet. But I do want to get y'all's thoughts on it. Send your comments. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Don't forget, I'm still trying to raise money for my trip to Sundance. So I probably should have brought that up in the beginning of the video.
When is that?
Sundance is at the end of the month, within at the end of January to February, like the 28th to like that's like the 26th to the 5th, I believe, of February. But I'm not gonna go for the whole thing. I'm only gonna be there. I'm gonna try to be there for a few days, but I gotta fund it first. So go check out the Patreon and my Facebook fundraiser page. Also, Cash App. So I'm trying to raise money for that. We've raised some funds for it, but I'm not at the goal yet. So look out for that, and let me know what you guys think. Comment, put in the box below, and on everything about Collider. And who was your favorite person? Who do you miss? Why do you think it failed? Well, failed is a bad word. Should I say failed? Why do you think it failed? Tell us, guys.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Peace.